Welcome back to another blogging tutorial. We are still working on setting up your initial blog. And so when we first created the basic website template, we set up those blank pages, the blog page, the about page, and the contact. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and work on the about page. So I'm going to show you how to customize one of the free templates that's available from Divi. And I'm going to show you how I create it to make my own template or my own page. So just so you know what we're going to be looking at the end, I'll show you what I'm working towards. So this is what the about page is going to look like when I finish. So if you're like, I don't like that at all, then you may not want to follow along with this video. But I'm going to just show you how I go from the free template and then customize it to look like this one. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the dashboard, the WordPress dashboard. And for this, we're going to pages. And we're going to be opening up that page that we created initially just so that we could create the menu. And I'm going to go to edit. And I could have just pushed edit with Divi as well. And now I'm going to say edit with the Divi builder. And now I have these three options if I want to build from scratch, choose a pre-made layout, or clone an existing page. So these aren't really going to work for this moment unless you just want to build from scratch and not start with the template. But what I'm going to do is show you how to use one of those free ones from Divi just to save some time. So I'm going to go ahead and click Browse Layouts. Now what's nice is that Divi has already created all of these. They're basically entire websites that are ready to go. You just have to fill out your own information. So if you don't like the one I do, you can choose any of these other pre-made website designs and use those as your starting point. After this video, even if you're not following along, you're still going to know how to edit the page to make it your own. So if you want to follow along exactly, the one that I'm using is in the coach one. I think it's like lifestyle coach or something like that. Lifecoach. Here we go. That's the one that I'm using. And so if we click in, you can click into any of these and don't worry about what they're titled, like wedding planner. It doesn't have to be for a wedding site. These are completely customizable to whatever you're using. So I'm clicking here on this Lifecoach one, and you can see that there are 6 layouts in the pack. So we have an about page, a blog page, just like a home page, a landing page, a contact page, and then like a life coaching sales page type thing. So I'm just using the about page for now because I think that it's actually really cute. And so I want to use this one so that it just kind of gives me something easy to work with, okay? So it's not going to look exactly like this when I'm done, but I'm going to show you how to go from this one to the one that I just showed you a minute ago. So we're going to go ahead and click Use this layout. So now what's opening up is what's called the front end builder. So this is where basically you can click and edit anything that's on this page. So I'm going to just start from the top and work my way down. And so just a few things about an about page. It's about you because you create the site and you want to tell people what the site is about that they're on. But more importantly, it's actually about them. So when somebody comes to your about page, they want to see if they relate to you and if they connect with you. But what can they get from you? Like, why should they read your site? Why should they read your blog? And so just keep that in mind as you're writing the content, is keep like the information to build the case for yourself on like why somebody should trust you and why they should want to be on your site, but why will it benefit them? So I'll kind of explain a little bit about that as I fill in the page, but just keep that in mind as you're going. So if this is a personal blog, you can put your name here like she did. This was a life coach, so it's really all about her and her expertise. So since blogging tutorials is for people to learn how to create a blog, it's not about me so much as a person as it is about what they're getting. So it's kind of different than if you're doing like a lifestyle blog. So just keep that in mind. And a good idea is to take a look at some of your favorite blogs and see what do they do in their about page. If it's 100% all about them, then don't copy that, because trust me, when people go to the about page, they want to know what's in it for them. All right, so I'm just going to say, and I'm not going to just put my name. You can, if it's a personal or lifestyle blog. So for me, I'm going to put about blogging tutorials. And then in this subheader here, I'm going to tell them what the site is about. So helping you build a brand new blog from scratch, one step at a time. So that's really my goal with this whole entire site, is to just help somebody go from the idea of a site to having it and getting everything step by step, just like you're getting in this video. All right. And then I'm not going to worry about editing out the pictures yet, because I want to just kind of get the framework done for this about page. So I'm going to go ahead, and I like how she has this like little introduction, like, hi, I'm Carly. And then of course, this is just like the lorem ipsum. So I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to do, hi, I'm Jessica, and I am here to help you reach your blogging goals. And if you are a lifestyle blogger, you can introduce yourself and what the purpose is. Why are you here? This is just kind of a fun quote spot, something unique about you, something to kind of connect with the person who's reading. Okay. And then they have this set up so that you have your story and then your values and beliefs, which you can change these, right? So you can say my story, and then you could have like something unique about me or something like that. But I'm actually going to change the format here, because I want to kind of go over my journey up here, and then I'm going to use these bullets down below. And then this section here, these featured publications, for a brand new site, you may not have a lot of these things. Like, you may not have posts that you want people to go to, or places that you've been featured, or things like that. So since this is a brand new site that I'm helping you with, I'm just going to take these off for ease. So later on, you may find that you come and you look at my about page and there's more things in here. I may have featured in places, or check out these posts, or an opt-in, but I want to make this page really easy for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to delete this whole section. So anytime when you're working in the Divi front end builder, the blue box is the main section you're working with. So you can see it kind of outlines this whole square here. So if I was to click on this trash, it's going to delete that whole section. So I'm just going to click delete. And then here, this is a contact form. So I actually don't want a contact form on my about page, so I'm just going to delete it. If you're set up with your email newsletter and everything at this point, you may want to add an opt-in here. But again, just for ease of use, I'm not going to have one on this page, because a lot of you aren't there yet. And in the tutorials about setting up your email newsletter, I'll show you how to add it in on any page that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this page as well. Or sorry, not this page, this section. So now we're left with these four main sections. We have the header here, and then the quote, and then the story and the values, and then the approach. So what I recommend is that you have something that kind of shares your experience, why you're creating this site, and then what can they expect from you? What can they get from working with you? Something like that in a section like this. And then you'll want to put something with a picture of you or your family, or, if it's travel blog, your favorite vacation spot, something like that, so that it's really personal and they can connect with you. And then some other blurb, right? So another thing is I don't have anything for them to schedule. You probably don't either at this point. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this whole button. If you want to have a button, you can edit the button. You can change the colors, everything like that by clicking this little toggle when you're hovered over the button. So if I click there, I can change the text. I can add a link to what's going to open. And then if I go to the design settings, then I can change the color. So like if I click on button, then I can go like red for the text, and then I could do black for the button, and then the border, I can do black, or I could do a red button, red border, and then white text. Okay, so super simple to edit that, but I don't actually need it at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this whole section. And you can see where this navy blue bar is, that's what would be deleted. It corresponds in color with this here. So I'm going to go ahead and just click delete. All right. So like I showed you on the preview of what this page is going to look like, I actually decided to take this section and move it up. So it's going to be up here. And then we have this section moved down. So in order to move an entire section, if you click the hover over so that you get this blue section, and then there's this up and down arrows. So this means you can move the whole section. So I'm just going to click there and drag. And so you see where the bar kind of comes up, that's where it would be dropping. So I'm just going to unclick, and it now moved that whole entire section to this spot here. And then we have this one now at the bottom. So color-wise, I feel like it looks better to have the white here than to have the gray that they have. So I'm going to change that when we get into the color changes. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this first section here, I want to change to one of my brand colors. So instead of having it orange, I'm just going to click on this blue, hover over to where it's the blue, and then I'm going to go to section settings and then design. Actually, I think I need to go to content and then background, sorry. And then I'm going to pick the color that I want. So you can see here my brand colors are already included because I installed them already. So I'm just going to click here to change the section color. Now this section here, and then, sorry, click this green button to save it. Now this section, I actually am going to change to white. I kind of like this in the background, so maybe I'll leave that because I like how this has the white, kind of separates out the text. So maybe I'll go ahead and just leave that there. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. So we're going to call this my journey. So I'm going to share with the readers why I'm sharing blogging tutorials with them, how I got started, what my experience is, and why they can trust me. So I already have this written, so I'm just going to copy it and paste it. So this is your building credibility. That's what you're doing in this section here. And then you want to put some sort of a picture just to personalize the page so that they feel that connection with you. So I'm going to go ahead, hover over the picture, and you can see it has this navy blue section, and then we want that little toggle. So I'm going to click on the module settings. And then I'm just going to click where it says image. And when I click on that, it's going to allow me to change the image. And I've already uploaded the image. And then I'll click upload, and it adds it into the section here. And then I want to add a frame around it because it will make it stand out a little bit better. So I'm going to go to design and then border. Now I may be going too fast, and if I am, I apologize. All of these things you're going to get used to over time. I've been building with Divi since 2012, so I'm very comfortable with what I'm looking for. You'll be able to play around in these and kind of get familiar with what all these sections mean. And that's why I'm really trying to set up super simple pages for you to start with so that you don't have to worry about trying to figure out every single aspect. But if you're ever curious on how to do something specific with Divi, their blog is very, very good at step-by-step tutorials specifically for Divi. So if you ever get confused on how to use any of these, you can ask me in the comments or head to the Elegant Themes blog and search there for what you're looking for. All right, so I'm in the design section and I'm going to go to border, and then we have here the border width. So that's how big do you want the border to be. So it's set to black right now, and you can use the slider or you can type in an amount of pixels that you want the border to be. So if I slide this over, you'll see it's adding a border to my picture. So that's 50 pixels. So you can see that it's just adding a border right around, and I can put it as big or as small as I want. So let's go ahead and we'll just do a 15 pixel, and I'm going to go ahead and change it from black to that navy blue, which is in my brand colors, and then click the save button. So I'm pretty happy with that section. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. And now this bottom portion where this was up higher originally, and I moved it down because I'm going to change this to topics I can help you master. So I've given my background, why I created my blogs originally, and why I'm here trying to create and help people create their own new blogs. So I've got kind of my experience and setting the stage and establishing that credibility. And now I'm sharing what's in it for you. So right here they have 2 columns, but I want to just go ahead and have 1 column. So this green section is this whole column here. So it's both of these together make up this green section. So if I click where it looks like windows, that's going to be where I can change it from 2 columns back to 1 column. If you don't want to do that, just type in here with whatever you want to put. So if you want to put in your experience or your degrees or your hobbies, whatever it is that you want to put in, you can leave this however you want. So for me, like I said, I'm just wanting this to be topics that I can help people with. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this 1 column. So I'm just going to click that thing that looks like windows, and then I'm going to change it from 2 columns to 1 column. And then I don't need this My Story section anymore because I've already put my journey above. So I'm just going to delete this whole entire module or section by clicking the trash can. And now you can see that I have these 3 sections I can fill in. And then I'm just going to change the title. So I'm going to make it Topics I Can Help You Master. And then I'm going to fill in these bullet points. So I'm going to actually have more bullet points than this. So I'm going to fill in the first 3, and then I'm going to show you how to copy to get new ones. So I've filled in 3 of the different bullet points that I want to tell people what I can help them master. And now I want to edit this orange dot. I don't want that to be orange because that's not in my brand colors. So I'm going to change those before I copy these sections. So I'm just going to close out of this by clicking the red box. And then I'm going to click on this. And then, so this is called a blurb. So I'm going to click here, get that blue section to come up, that little menu. And Then I'm going to click the toggle. So I'm going to go to the module settings. And then I'm going to go down to where it says image and icon. So this check mark is an icon. It's one of these down here. So there's quite a bit of different ones. So if you wanted to change it to be something different than the check mark within the circle, like if you wanted to make it be a heart, you could do that. If you wanted it to be a key or a lock, whatever it is you want it to be, you could do that there. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to the check mark. And then I want to go to color. So we're going to go to design and then the image and the icon. And then it has the icon color. So here are my brand colors. So I've already used the navy blue and the teal. So I'm going to go ahead and do these as red. And then I'm going to click this check mark for save settings. So now I could either go back through and do that with each of these, or I want to show you a little trick. So what I can do is this little menu here. If I open that, it's going to say copy module styles. So what that's going to do is take all of the styling edits that I've made and copy them so I can paste them into the next module. So I'm going to go ahead and click copy module styles. And then I'm going to hover over this one. I'm going to open up that menu again, and I'm going to click paste module styles. So now it changes that to a red check mark instead of the orange. If I was to change the format on these texts and do that, it would do it on the next one as well. So any style settings that you change will be pasted onto the next module. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here as well. Paste module styles. All right, so now I have the 3, but I need to have 4 additional ones. So what I'm going to do is click this button here that says duplicate. So it looks like a square on top of a square. So I'm going to go ahead and click that 4 times. So you see it puts a new module right underneath. So I'm going to go ahead. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I just need to edit the text that's within this section. All right, so now I've added all the different topics that I plan to talk about on this site. And so that when somebody comes to the About page, they're going to easily know if they're in the right spot or not. So there's a few more styling changes that we're going to make on this page. So the first one, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this box. The first one is I don't need Carly's picture up here. So if you are doing a lifestyle blog or a personal blog or a brand blog where you are the brand, you can put a picture of yourself up here. If you're doing a garden blog, you might want to put a picture of flowers, something that's going to look nice and represent your brand. So for me, since this is all about blogging, I'm just going to do a desk picture. So I use deposit stock photos. And so I already have some stock photos available that I've already purchased. And so I'm just going to put one in this header section. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add in a different background image for this section here. And so when I click and hover over, I want this module. So if I find this gray box and then I click on the toggle, it's called the full width header. And then you see here, I'm in the content section and background is what I want to go to. So I'm going to go ahead and click this drop down button. And then you can see here's the picture of the girl. And so I don't want that one. So I can either click the garbage to get rid of it, or I can just click on it and it will open up and let me pick a different picture. So I have this image that I've uploaded already. It's a picture of just a desk, like an office desk with a computer, a keyboard, a mouse, a notebook, and a donut and some coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as the header background. And then I'm going to go ahead and click upload. And so you can see here now, pretty much the only thing we can see is that donut. So I'm going to make a couple of style changes. Now you may have to mess with this setting a little bit so that it looks how you want it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and the parallax, I'll just point out, anything that you're not sure what it is, if you click this little question mark, it'll tell you what it does. So parallax basically makes it to where the image moves, or actually the image stays while the page moves around it. I kind of like that. So I'm going to click use parallax. So now you can see it kind of changed the size of the image, but as I scroll with my mouse, that donut doesn't move. So what I see here is what's going to always be seen, and then it just kind of stays there while the page moves around it. So it's kind of a cool look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so as I go down, I'm just kind of taking a double look and make sure everything looks how I want it to and nothing seems kind of out of place. So we have this black bar that's coming up here, so I don't really need to have that. Since before I took the edit, I made some edit changes, there was that section below. So it probably looked good with that, but now it doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and change the border on this section here. So that is part of this big blue section. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings for that to get rid of this black box. So I'm going to go ahead and click this toggle here, the section settings. And then what I'm looking for is in the design and then dividers. So you can see we have nothing on the top, and then on the bottom, we have this divider style here. So we could just completely get rid of it. So go to that drop down and click none. And now you can see it's gone. It's just a square. So if I want to, I can actually make it to where this kind of matches the style of up here. So we have all, like this one has like a diagonal. So I could do that here as well. So that would be the top divider. And then I can go to the divider style and choose one that is what I'm looking for. So probably want it to come the other way, but I kind of like this one with the multicolors. So instead of doing the diagonal from top to bottom, I'm actually going to do it from the bottom down. So I kind of like that. So it's kind of the opposite. You can play with these different borders if you want, or you can just turn it off and have it be completely square. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that border back. And then the save button. All right, so there is our semi-quick and easy about page for the site that we're building. All right, so once you're done here, then you want to make sure you click save in the bottom right. And since we had already published this page, then this should be already active on the site. If it's not published, there will be a button up here that says publish. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and exit the visual builder, which is up here. Now I'm just on the main site and on the page I was working on. So if I click the home button, I'll get away from that. So we haven't edited this page yet, but if I go to about, it is now that page that I just created.